Good morning, beautiful people. Let's get back to some real talk. I've missed you guys in my just like locking in, giving you guys all the deep goodies. My content has been a lot lighter recently, just trying to have fun with my creative side. And it has been really, really fun. But I know you guys love when we get real and we get raw. And your girl has been going through it. This last year has been the biggest transformation. Like, if you would have told me you're going to pack up from Wisconsin, leave everything you've ever known behind, go to Colorado, start this brand new life, meet all these incredible human beings that you can connect with, and that my mindset and my perspective is going to change this widely to essentially like change my whole entire life. I don't know if I would have believed you, but it feels really good. I feel grounded for the first time ever. I've been taking the time really this whole past year, but this summer in particular, because of all these new friendships and connections on YouTube, and I'm so grateful for all of them. But it's bringing up a lot of kind of old past wounds, right? So I've been looking inward and kind of realizing what my triggers are. How can I step up for myself and create the life that I want to live? Because we all, as individuals, we are the creators of our life. I've been putting a lot of blame, a lot of pressure on other people, just external factors in general, and realizing that I've had to dig deep. Like, I have to put in the work, show up for myself, be consistent, take the time to feed my soul and understand what I really want and who I am. And that really is like a solo personal journey alongside being present in community. I want to keep sharing with you guys what has worked for me, because majority of my life I have been living in my head and my actions have been based off of that. And now I feel like I'm going through this shift where I'm realizing being in my body is so important. I'm realizing that taking care of mental health is not something that you do like one time or through a period and then there's this light bulb, like I have it all figured out, I've got it now. It's something that I constantly have to work at and finding what works for me. And it's been an incredibly rewarding journey. It's been an emotional journey, but I'm learning a lot about emotional regulation. That's one thing that I wish they would teach that shit in school. And I feel like a lot of people are like, well, that's up to the parent. You know, there's a lot of things in general that I feel like should be in the schools. And that's a privilege, honestly, to think that parents are just going to teach their children right all of these things. There's a lot of different circumstances that have to make that be so, but emotional regulation is something that I'm becoming really passionate about, because I've seen how much my life has transformed in such a short period of time, since I am no longer feeling responsible for other adults' emotions. So of course, when we're around children, we do have that responsibility, but another adult, if I say something to you and you react in a way that triggers me, right? Like I see your face of disgust or disappointment or shame or whatever it is, I have always taken that on. I've always felt that. I've always embodied that. So other people's moods have literally will shift and change my mood. And I'm just now learning the power of separation, the power of detachment when it comes to emotions. It's okay to let people feel their emotions. They're gonna feel what they need to feel. They're gonna express themselves how they are gonna do that, right? We can't control how other people show up in that way. And it's been so liberating. And I don't know, this might be one of those things where like I'm gonna fall backwards a little bit when we talk about emotional regulation, but it's something that I just take pride in right now, where I've had like that realization that I am only in control of myself, how I show up for myself, how my life looks, I have a huge role in that, right? So kind of just finding my place. Also, I grew up in a family, very big, loud personalities, both my mom and my dad. There wasn't really a room for me. I did not have a voice growing up, so when I was feeling all these big emotions, I didn't feel like I could talk about them. They were really confusing. I just know that I associated certain emotions, right, with a negative, others with a positive, and anytime that I'd feel that negative emotion, instead of just feeling it, letting it move through my body and letting it pass, I've always get in my head over analyzing, like, okay, why am I feeling this way? Let's go down. My brain is literally going through all these different scenarios of why I could be feeling that way. And that has made me just get stuck, right? Just ruminating and being in this negative thought pattern, this cycle that I 100%, everyone has the ability to break it. We got to start feeling our emotions. We got to start getting in our body and not over analyzing, picking apart every single little thing. But also, like, when you are grown, you are raised to not understand your emotions. You're gonna feel guilty when you feel a negative emotion on top of feeling that negative emotion. So not only would I feel like shit, but then I would feel bad about feeling like shit. I'd feel guilty about it. And it's just this constant spiral. So I'm allowing for emotions to come in, not judging them, not marking them as negative or positive, not trying to use my brain to like figure out what's going on, how can I problem solve in this moment, and just sit with myself, just feel, just breathe, move, create. Those three words alone, I feel like, are so freaking powerful. If I can just focus, there's so many external factors that are going to stir you up, that are going to trigger you. People are going to react in a way that you don't like. The world can be a not so great place. Like, there's always just chaos going on around me. But as long as I can focus on breathing, right? So staying present, staying grounded, moving. The more movement I get in a day, the less that I am spending time in my head and creating. I've always felt like I was a creative person, but I didn't know how to put that out into the world. That's something I've always really, really struggled with. And then there's this sense of like, okay, I feel creative, but I feel like I'm just an imposter because I'm not actually creating anything. You know what I mean? So how am I calling myself a creator when I'm not? Breaking down those walls, getting out of my head. Recently I've been doing paint by number kits, and I'm not a great painter. Like, I feel like a little kid when I'm painting. There's so many basic things that I feel like I should have learned in elementary school, right? In art class. That during that time I was just so stuck, so frozen, so in survival mode that none of that knowledge was sticking. So there's a lot of areas in my life where I'm literally starting from scratch when it comes to being creative. But it's kind of fun, it's kind of exciting. It kind of proves that like everybody's path's different, and yeah, there might be some skills or activities that are associated, right, with like little kids. But now I don't know, I guess I'm kind of healing my teenage self. I feel like I've really been healing my 12-year-old self. And we're moving on to 13. Like, there's just a good shift of energy and taking back kind of some of my power. Not relying on external factors, people for my happiness, but like truly figuring out what fulfills me, what feeds my soul. But we're getting a violin next month. I really just want to get through Vegas, you guys, which is next week already. And then I'm going to focus on getting my violin, practicing that at least an hour a day, doing more painting, doing more journaling. And I think just the more that I do, like, that creation is just going to naturally unfold, and I won't have to think about it so much of being creative. It's just going to be organic, and it's just going to happen. So all good things are coming. I know a lot of my viewers are grinding it out day in and day out, just trying to make a living, and I see you guys, I feel you guys. I've before I had this like steady job, I mean, I had 12 different jobs in the span of 10 years. So I know what it's like to just be go, 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 working for the weekend. Sometimes not even working for the weekend, right? Because a lot of gig works, server works, even when I was a CNA, there was a lot of weekend hours. So I know that it's a great privilege being in the career that I'm at, that I have a little bit more space to heal, to create, to move. So don't let that discourage you if you're in a place where you're like, I see Tawny like doing all these things and I feel like I just don't genuinely have the time. Meet yourself where you're at. There's no shame. We need to stop like comparing ourselves to other people, right? Comparison is the thief of joy. So just start wherever you're at. But journaling would be like the number one thing I'd recommend, to really put down your wants, your desires, your dreams, and goals onto paper, right? I don't know, something about it is just like magical. It's easier for you to hold yourself accountable to your goals when you see them written down, right? So ideally you'd be looking at that journal once a day, kind of reminding yourself. That's a tool that I'm going to utilize, especially when I'm like a week out, a couple days before my period, and my mind really starts to turn on me. I've really been struggling with OCD this past year, and I didn't even realize it. Like, I think I've just been in denial because I haven't had a really bad episode since I was 20, and then before then I was 7 years old. So they've been fairly spread out, but it's just anytime that I'm going through a lot of change, it's a coping mechanism. My mind wants to control, and it makes up all these wild scenarios. So it's important for me to stay grounded, and I think journaling in the moment, certainly I feel grounded and present when I'm journaling. But if I can look back every single day and kind of just eye on the prize, stay focused, plan over mood, there's going to be times when your mental health isn't great, when your physical health isn't great, all the components. But if you can stay grounded and stay freaking focused, and have gratitude. Gratitude is huge too, because when I get in my head and I start like nitpicking things, and then I go to my journal and I write down as much as I can write down for the day of what I'm grateful for, I'm like, oh, maybe I have been a little bit, asking too much of people, or not understanding where people are coming from. So recognizing that gratitude is going to give you compassion for other people. You are literally more able to, you guys heard of like step in other people's shoes. I feel like this is the first year where I'm realizing like I have been a little selfish in the way that I've been showing up, or the way that my mind has been thinking of things. And gratitude is so, so important, because you might be in a different place than someone else in your life, but realizing all the things that it takes for them, maybe just to get out of bed for the day, to go to work, to grind it out. You just don't know what other people are going through. So gratitude for other people, grace for yourself, because the healing journey is not just a straight up incline. It's literally going to be, and I think it's going to be like that for the rest of your life. But if you can embrace it and just take the good for the bad, and realize that it all can coexist, and we're all part of something bigger, we are all connected. It's good stuff, you guys. I feel like I extra rambled because I've been wanting to talk to you guys. Like, I've been wanting to get real and raw with you guys for a lot. Like, it's been a hot minute since I posted one of these videos, but just doing a lot of self-reflecting, a lot of figuring out, what I want my life to look like. I've never really had dreams or goals before. I've never actually looked out 5 years ahead and be like, okay, I want to work towards getting this. So for the first time ever, I feel like I'm locked in. I feel like I'm disciplined, but also realistic. Like, I'm not going to be one of those, I can't be a perfectionist. I cannot go down that lane. It's not good for the mental health. It's not good for people around you. It's just like too much pressure. So start super, super small, like literally the smallest thing you can think of. When I woke up one day in 2021 and realized I needed to change my entire life, it felt very overwhelming. Like, I had to tackle so many things, and I ultimately just started with walking. That's the first thing I did, and then slowly added new things, right? Cut out the beer, cut out a lot of the soda, cut out the sweets. it's taken 4 years for me to even get to this point of like true self-awareness. So just take the first step, even if you feel like you're not fully ready mentally, physically, like just move. Body emotion stays in motion. You're going to keep going with that momentum. We're going to stop there. I've got a lot more that I want to talk to you guys about. And again, I apologize. This is all over the place. But also, like, you know your girl. You know your ADHD girl. I do this all off the cuff. I don't have notes or anything. I'm not going off a script. So if you can hang with the kind of all over the place, welcome. You're welcome here. And yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. I hope everyone's feeling blessed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, please, 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 thumbs up. Write in the comments. That helps the algorithm too. Let me know what you guys are working on, what goals we're trying to hit. I love hearing from you guys. So talk to you later. Bye.